Glad you're able to join here on this Thursday. What a joy it is to be able to be with you for this. And as I mentioned yesterday, that marked a one-year anniversary of our having to send our college students home and then go into virtual college learning. That happened to our academy a couple of days later. And of course, our church had to go online for a little bit of time. And those were all traumatic times. And so this is a time of real reflection on what have we learned and what does God want to do? And I trust we've all learned the lessons we needed to learn. I know for me it's been very, very helpful having to face the reality of where our country is and what it's going to take to have the right kind of ministry in the future, and to wake up to the fact that people are open and there are great opportunities for us to serve the Lord. And we need to get out of the lethargy that we find ourselves in America, in our churches. And all of this has been very helpful and very healthy. And I'm thankful for what God's been doing in our church. But we need to keep moving. And I thought of Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3, well-known verse, "Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established." The whole idea of really trusting God with every aspect of our life is so key. Now, it's basic, we know that, but to truly commit our way to the Lord, our works to the Lord, to trust in Him for life itself, to not live by human thinking, but to live according to God's purposes, that is the essence. We're saved by faith. We grow by faith. Everything in our life is touched by whether or not we believe God or we don't believe God. We are either walking in the Spirit and enjoying the supernatural working in our life, or we're walking according to our own strength, not really believing God, and we wander in the wilderness like the nation of Israel did for 38 years, a tragic consequence to their unbelief. And so we need to commit every aspect of our life to the Lord. And God will cause us to make our perspective, He'll cause us to have our thoughts, our whole thinking process be according to biblical reality, and we'll be able to make the most of our lives. We've really gone through life just by living according to the circumstances that we faced. We go day by day surviving and living and very limited. And I'm talking about wonderful believers here in our country, but we haven't had that genuine trust in the Lord that what He said is true and what He said could be done, could be done. Friends, God is still the God of miracles. God is a God that wants to reach the world. God is a God that is able to take the body of Christ and move it forward in great victory. And yet we have not really committed our lives to that end because there's really doubt down deep. We go on the basis of past experience, and we have a rather weak idea of what can happen in America with our churches and with Bible Christianity. And so we need to have a right perspective on what God can do in the days ahead. And my friends, let's totally trust our lives to the Lord. Let's don't get back to just going through life and just doing it according to our own thinking. May God cause each of us to serve Him in a way that He can do the fullness of His working through our lives.